Hello everyone, welcome to Bayern Now, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. So, Bayern Munich are now favorites to sign Leroy Sane. Oh boy, I'm just getting goosebumps hearing that. So, the story coming out right now, all over Twitter, I read Twitter because, there's a lot of trustable sources and it's very easy to get the news very quickly. So, a couple of hours ago, very good, I actually woke up 2 hours ago. I don't know why I slept at 4 a.m. Maybe because I was watching Spider-Man Homecoming, finally. But the story now is that Man City have basically decided to let Leroy Sane go, which tells me, and then there's also ongoing negotiations with Man City. That just tells me that we're in for him, or no, obviously, that tells me that Sane has decided to become a Bayern player. He's decided to be open to the Bayern Munich move. Because think about it, this story's been going on for two and a little bit over half months now, right? Since, was it May? We started being linked to Sane. We were getting stories after stories about how Sane was just unsure, and then Pep Guardiola was like, "We want him to stay," but then Pep wouldn't. I think Sane wants to play. That's like his main thing, right? Because at Man City, Pep doesn't really rate him. If I'm being honest, it looks like Pep doesn't really like Sane. I'm not exactly sure if it's Sane, but he hasn't started as many games, despite him showing up in the big games. The game versus Schalke in the Champions League and Liverpool, where he scored the winner in the 72nd minute. Yes, I did watch that game. Um, it looks from there that Pep didn't really rate Sane. He didn't start him as much as he deserved. He'd rather play Bernardo Silva and Raheem Sterling, which are understandable. They're two world class players, but I think most Man City fans probably think Sane is a better player than than Sterling, because Sterling tends to have that. He doesn't have that extra bit of finesse when it comes to his finishing. Sterling can dribble 10 players, but it's the finishing he lacks sometimes, which he had last season, but then again, he scored like 20 tap ins. So I'm not exactly sure if I can call that finishing. But I mean, I think it's just concentration to score that many. But apparently, Man City are resigned to signing, to getting Leroy Sané to Bayern Munich. Right? They're open to the move. And when a club of a player is open to the move, that's an indication to the player that I'm ready to go. Right? So I wouldn't I wouldn't be saying this if Bayern didn't know exactly that Leroy Sané wants to join. Because here's the thing. Usually a club that wants to get a player, they'll call the agent of the player and ask the agent, is the player open to a move to our club? If the agent says no, the story ends there. The club is no longer looking for that player. We would have signed a different player by now. If we wanted, we could have signed Nicolas Pepe because he really wanted to join us. But we weren't willing to spend 60 million or 70 million on a player that wasn't proven and wasn't playing in the big leagues and was playing against Farmers League teams every week, right? So that's why we did not get Nicolas Pepe, right? And once a club knows the availability of the player, if the player is like, I don't know, then the club it will start trying to, if the club really wants him, they'll start like finding ways. They'll give him more time, right? Or they won't like they'll give him more time. They'll be talking about the player a little bit, but they'll give him more time. We've given Sane 1 month, and I think now is the time to say he's probably decided on his future, right? I think in his head he's going, Pep isn't gonna play me. It's obvious Pep isn't gonna play me every week. He prefers Sterling to myself. I think I should go to Bayern, where he'll definitely be starting over anyone else. He'll be starting over Coman and Gnabry. I mean, if it came to it, he'll be starting over Kingsley Coman. He'll be leading the lines with Robert Lewandowski, world-class striker. He'll have world-class midfielders serving him, and he'll have a world-class defense who's going to defend and just let him attack. I think that's what's going through Sané's head. And Sané has a bigger chance of winning the Champions League here at Bayern. Why? Because Man City choke. Pep Guardiola chokes in the big games. I mean, then again, Nico Kovac chokes in the big games as well. So that's not a real reason to join us. But I think Sane really cares about his game time. Pep has probably told him, look, kid, I'm not going to play you as much. I like Sterling and Bernardo Silva more. I'm not going to play you as much. And then Sane has to make the decision that, I don't want to play for a manager who doesn't want to play me. And I think that's what's going on here. And Sane isn't really I don't think he's like incredibly optimistic about playing under Niko Kovac, who's an unproven manager, or playing in the Bundesliga. I think he wants to play at a big club where he can compete for the Champions League. Because imagine if he wins the Champions League twice in his life. He'll literally be able to win a Ballon d'Or. So my thoughts here is that Sane is ready to come, right? So Fabrizio Romano from Twitter, he's a Sky Sports kind of a guy into transfers, a well-respected guy. I mean, it's in between, right? So he did. He stated that Sane has not yet decided yet about Bayern, Man City, and Bayern are waiting. I don't understand, right? That has to be wrong. It has to be wrong because Bayern and Man City opened negotiations. A lot of sources confirm that, and our board is keeping silent. And usually, when our board keeps silent, it means they're doing something behind closed doors. So for me, I'm thinking if we're already working on Sane with Man City, it means we've already got an agreement with Leroy Sane. So it has to be wrong that Sane hasn't decided yet. Because if Sane decided no Bayern, he would have done it years ago. He would have done it 2 months ago. But if he decided yes Bayern, then now is the perfect time. So, and Niko Kovac, our manager, came out and said that I'm optimistic Leroy will soon become a Bayern player. I believe we will get him. That's it. Was there a correction to this statement? Sane is a brilliant player with brilliant qualities. Our management is working hard to get him. I am confident we will sign him. That's our manager saying he's confident we'll sign Sane. That's Niko Kovac. Kovac ball. Niko Kovac is confident we'll sign Leroy Sane. And I think I'm confident that we will. But here's the thing, right? Are we going to take the manager's word? I think we should take the manager's word sometimes. Because the manager knows the ins and outs of what's happening. The manager is in constant communication with the higher uppers, right? Our management, so that means our director of football, or some of our board members, are already working or formulating. If Sane wants $300,000, if Sane honestly wants $350,000 a week or $300,000, a City, I think he's getting like, is it $150,000 a week? I'm giving him $300,000 a week. Because he's going to be starting week in, week out. He's going to be producing results for us. But I think Sane knows at City, right, he's just the guy who's competing and adds competition for Raheem Sterling. At Bayern, he'll become the main guy. So he knows he'll have to deliver every game. He'll have to be scoring or assisting once per game. Sane probably already knows this, right? He knows he has to have a good performance every game. Almost, if he's getting $300,000 at Bayern, there's a new expectation. So that could play a role in his decision making. Because even though the Bundesliga is not the best freaking league in the world in terms of competition from other clubs, it's still incredibly demanding. We want to win the Bundesliga and the DRB Pokal next season, which means Sane will be playing 2x more games than he is at City, right? He'll rarely get any rest. His form will be counted on, right? Because Lewandowski usually is in form. Gnabry has shown that he can be in form for a very long period of time. So other players around him will be in form. Thiago can stay in form throughout the whole season. Our midfield is kind of shaky in terms of the other two positions in midfield, but we'll have to work on that. And our defense, Niklas Süle is pretty consistent. Kimmich is one of the most consistent players in the world in terms of making good performances week in, week out. Hence why he got like 20 assists last season. So our team is in form. So Sane will have to consider that. Oh, at Bayern, I'll have to be in form. Whereas at Man City, I was coming off the bench and having to make an impact. But at Bayern, I have to be in form. So I think that, he'll consider that too. But the fact that the manager of our club has come out and said we're confident we can sign him, right? That just tells me that he's heard something. He's probably. I think Sane. Okay, BS. It's BS that Sane hasn't made the decision for Bayern. Because if he wanted not to join Bayern, he would have shut the rumors down 5 days after they came out because he wanted to remain at City. But he kept it going for 2.5 months. Some people are arguing he just wanted a bigger contract, which that's a scumbag thing to do because a lot of fans actually want him here at Bayern. But I don't think that's that. I think Sane wants to go to the best club for him. I think Bayern is the best club because we actually fill up our entire stadium every weekend. Unlike City, who have 10 to 20,000 empty seats on a Champions League night because they have no fans, and their fans are from Indonesia and India. So it's not like we have any real. Bayern's a big club. We're a big club in Germany. We're a big club around the world. We're a big club in every continent. Every freaking team know. Everyone knows about Bayern. If you don't know about Bayern Munich, you don't know football because that's the level we're at. Man City, I don't even think people knew them 5 years ago. I don't even. I honestly, if I'm being honest, I didn't care about Man City 5 years ago. I did not because they weren't like a big team for me to look at. Like they weren't competing for any trophies. I mean, they won the Premier League around that time, but they still didn't have the status of a big club with history. At Bayern, you're at a new level. You're at a level where we've won trebles. We have won the bloody treble. You know how many teams have won the treble in their entire lives in Europe? I don't think Man City has won a treble. Liverpool have never won a treble in their lives. Chelsea hasn't won a treble. Arsenal has never won a treble, right? You can consider their domestic trophies, and if they win three, you can consider that a treble. But I don't think that. Yeah, no club has won. How many clubs do you know that have actually won a treble? None, zero. Okay, I don't. So at Bayern, you're getting 10 plus new expectations. Get to the Champions League semifinals. That's our goal every year. Get to the Champions League semifinals, win the league. People are saying the Bundesliga is a little bit of a farmers league, and I understand your point, right? But my point is maybe we're just too good for the rest of the teams. If we played Man City every week, we would beat them 7 out of 10 every week if we played them the entire season. You know why? Because we have quality. Our bench, man, look at the game versus Arsenal. Arsenal were bringing on 10 youngsters, not because their first team decided to take a vacation, but because they didn't actually have a good first team, right? Arsenal had to play 10 youngsters. We were bringing on Kimmich, Lewandowski, Alaba, right? No, not Alaba. Alaba played in the first half. We were bringing on Süle, real quality. Pavard is a freaking squad player for us. Of course, he's not going to start over Kimmich, but think about that. Benjamin Pavard, World Cup winner, big guy in big games. Scored against a brilliant goal in the World Cup versus Argentina to get France and help them get to the World Cup final. And you want to come out here and tell me that he's sitting on our bench and hoping Kimmich gets injured or hoping Niklas Süle feels something and he has to come on. Okay, that's the level we're at with Man City. They don't even have a good center back stability right now. Right? That's what I'm saying. The Bundesliga is not a farmers team. We're just too good for it. Look at Real Madrid winning the Champions League 3 times in a row. They're not going to do that. No, we're not going to allow that to happen. Okay. But look at the fact that we were in the semifinals for I think all of those years, or in the quarterfinals. We got to at least the quarterfinals in the last 10 years, right? That just tells you the quality of our club. And Ribery, Robin, we've had world beaters. So one of the best German players, Beckenbauer, played for Bayern, didn't he? I don't care. So let's talk about Leroy Sané's fee. It went up 14 million more on transfer market. Okay, I always think this, right? When the more a transfer takes, it means the more negotiations take, right? The more time they take, that means that the fee is going higher. I always think of it like that because someone is disagreeing somewhere. So honestly, what I think is we'll pay 100 million for Sane, right? I don't think we'll be paying 150 million for him. He's not worth that. Mbappe is worth that, but we shouldn't be paying 150 million for Leroy Sane because you have to also consider that he's 23. Of course, his birthday is one day after my birthday, and that's cool. But the fact that he's richer than me doesn't really make that cool. So we will be paying 100 million for Sane. We can't pay more, right? His fee keeps updating, right, and his market value constantly updates. But if you look at it, he's Sane is never. There's never been a time where Sane was just not good enough, right? In 2015, where he really started popping off in the under 19s, he was worth 1.14 million at 19 years old, right? And then just like at 20, Sane was worth 34 million. At 20 years of age, he was worth 34 million. And going to Man City, he was still worth 34 million. His market value. And then just since 2017, it's just been uphill from there, right? Sane having good performances after good performances, and now he's worth 100 million, 114 million dollars, which is like 100 million euros, right? Sane is worth that much. And I wanted to touch up on Christian Falk, a very prominent Bayern source. He's the head of football at Bild and Bild Sports. He focuses on Bayern and the German national team. Right? He basically, if you watch his Twitter, I love it because he just says true or not true, or he retweets it to make sure that to basically exchange, right? So he did say positive signs came from Leroy Sané's management, which if a positive sign is coming from a player's management, if positive signs, I'm repeating this, if positive signs are coming from a player's management about moving to a new club, I think that's enough sauce to go, yeah, he wants to join Bayern, okay? So I don't understand this whole thing that he's not decided about Bayern. Man, you have 2 months. You had an entire holiday where you literally just sit there at night and think about your future going to Bayern Munich, okay? Sané had enough time. So this whole thing about him not decide, I think he's decided, right? He wants to join Bayern, and I think right now, if Sané comes to Bayern, I think in the middle of next week or towards the end of it, next week, Bayern gets 1 week to sign Leroy Sané. If not, then I'm just sketchy after that because negotiations don't take that long. I'm telling you this. It's so easy. People think they like to overcomplicate transfers sometimes, right? All we have to do, our director of football, I'm not exactly sure if it's fax machine or sometimes they fly out. If we already know the player wants to come, we draft up a contract offer. The player send it to the player's management. The player and the management look at it, and then the player's like, "Oh, that's a pretty good one. Let me just add an extra," and we agree to that, which takes a few hours, right? It probably is by text sometimes, This is so easy to draft up a contract. Bayern have 50 people that probably only work on contracts and fees and work to. Oh my God, it's so easy. Once the player is like, "Oh, I want to join you for this," right? Then we go to the club. The club negotiations aren't even that hard, right? If we tell the club the player's open, we've agreed a fee with him. Of course, if it's a release clause, then that's a different situation because all you have to do is pay the release clause and the player's yours essentially, right? Even if the player hasn't agreed, you pay the ability to release the player, and all you have to do is give the player a good contract. But what we do with the club now, it takes it could literally take almost less than 30 minutes. If we know the evaluation of Sané, if our director of football with his management and his team have watched videos upon videos, looked at the data about Sané and decided, oh, he's worth 95 million to us, and Man City have also looked at it, right? And because before all the negotiations start, weeks and weeks, we probably asked Man City, what do you evaluate the player at? It's such a simple question. We've probably asked them, What do you think the player will cost us? Man City will draft up, their team will like be like blah 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 blah. If the Man City don't want to sell, they just don't entertain the offer. But they obviously want to sell Sane because he's not happy, and Pep doesn't want unhappy players apparently. But apparently Phil Foden is also his best player he's ever coached. Not Thiago, not Kimmich, not Lewandowski, not Messi. It's Phil Foden, who I don't even know exists. So the teams know their valuations. Bayern is like, okay, he's worth 95 million. How about we give City 85 million just to undercut? They draft up, blah blah blah. We want to buy him for 85 million. Fax machine, Man City's management see it. This is taking 30 minutes because they've already figured this stuff out weeks before they even made this negotiation. So if they're negotiating now, it shouldn't take that long. They look at it, oh no, we want 185 million. It's pretty close to 105 million. Let's give him 100 million because we want to get rid of the player and build up funds, right? Because Man City are also in trouble with financial fair play. Milan were in trouble for a day and got banned for literally, they didn't even break the rules that much. I don't even know why. So Man City are like, oh no, we will take 100 million. Bayern know it's 95 million, but then Bayern's like, oh, it's only 5 million than what we originally thought, even though they underpaid. Then Bayern's like, yes, bang, send it to Man City, and they make up a payment plan. This is taking literally under an hour now. It's no longer 30 minutes. It's taking over 30 minutes. Draft up a financial plan. They probably already drafted up a financial plan. Here's the weird thing, right? We have about probably more than 50 people. Bayern's a rich club, billions of dollars. Trump is worth 3 point something billion dollars, right? He has thousands of people working under him. If our club is making hundreds of millions of dollars in one season, right? Guess what? We have thousands of people that work only on transfers of players. Sometimes we don't even have transfers, and I wonder if those people get paid. So guess what? These people are now. We then send the information, right? That Sane is getting signed. We ask Sane, what number do you want? They start printing his shirts. They start having deals with Adidas. They start contacting Audi, I don't know how to say it. I keep forgetting. They start contacting Audi. Hey guys, Sane's coming. They start drafting up exactly how they're gonna freaking get Sane in the club, right? That's it. It takes that long. Adidas is like, oh yeah, we'll make a kit, right? Sane is, I think, signed with Puma, so they won't be like. But Puma's like, okay, you're going to Bayern, cool, sweet. Do you want some new cleats, some new boots to like and then like a new number? They print his shirts. They printed 50 million shirts, 50,000. The fans will love this shirt, and then it's so easy. That's literally all you have to do in the transfer. That's all you have to do. After you're done with that, right? After you have the player, you've agreed with the player now just flies over, takes a medical, right? And then it literally takes like a few hours to do a medical. And after the medical, you can literally, and most clubs announce it, but like the medical is done and then they announce it and then show like images and videos of the medical, right? And the medical takes only a few hours, and then bang, in 2 days you basically have one of the best players in the world signed, and most potential field players in the world signed at your club, right? It doesn't take that long for negotiations. Negotiations can literally take under 2 hours. Liverpool were linked to Fabinho for like 2 hours or 4 hours and had him signed and announced him on their Instagram and Twitter and everywhere for their fans to see in under 4 hours of being linked to him, right? Sometimes because they probably already evaluated him, did the work weeks and weeks beforehand before they went in with the deal, and maybe they just sometimes you get lucky, right? Sometimes the player's like, okay, I want to join, blah blah blah. They just take the money, and then you just contact the club. The club's like, yeah, great, and that takes like under 2 hours. Negotiations don't take weeks, man. They don't take weeks. So we haven't been negotiating with City for more than, I think we've been negotiating with them for 2 days. That's it, right? I think we probably reached an agreement on the fee. We probably have, and now we're just waiting for Sane to be like, yeah, go ahead, or we're waiting for something to tick. Or we've probably already signed Sane. He's probably already penned the contract. He's probably in Munich right now. Actually, I don't know. He's probably somewhere, but they're working out deals with Puma and Adidas, because it's not just about signing the player to your club. You have to make sure their sponsors know. You have to let the sponsors, understand. The player now has to have a bigger deal with the sponsors sometimes, like, and then the player has to be, you know, print a new Adidas. Adidas have to understand something. It's a lot of paperwork, but with 50 to 100 people working on just transfers, it's so easy. So that's honestly what's going on. This video, I liked it. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I had 4 people watching just a minute ago, and I'm really appreciative because I've never had 4 people watch a stream of mine. It's just never happened. And 5 subscribers. This is insane, man. 5 subscribers. I know that doesn't sound like a lot of subscribers. It doesn't sound like 5 million subscribers, but I've never had 5 subscribers just off streaming in my life. So anyone who subscribed, thank you very much. If you're new, I'm just this is Bayern Now, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. I don't think Bayern has a fan channel. I mean, we have fans who make videos about Bayern, but I just want to make this like a community where us fans can come together. Because every major club that I'm seeing has fans. Huh. I'm trying to make my webcam bigger. Whoa, what did I do? What the heck did I do? Oh no. I messed up. Actually. It's back to normal. Oh god, what? It still looks a little bit weird. So yeah, I'm ending the stream here. Thank you very much for watching the video. I'll see you guys next time. Yes, and Mia, and peace. 5 subscribers. That's lit. Let's go, baby. Let's go.